It's the And the White Guy Show with Bruce Williams, but not Terry Reid. Harry's Roland Sack and his orchestra, the Dick Dancer Dancers. And now, from their high-res studios in La Hermitage, here's that white guy, Bruce Williams.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, and welcome once again to the And the White Guy Show with the white girl herself, Sharon Hollingdall Williams. We welcome all of our viewers that are in Norway. Sharon has the middle name Hollingdall, and that, of course, is a canton over there in Norway. So everyone that's watching the show from Norway, we say Guten Tag.
Tusen Tag.
Tusen Tag. Tusen Tag. Guten Tag is German, isn't it?
I have not.
Something like that. Good day to all of you. And today we have a great show. We have with us from beautiful downtown Prior Lake, Minnesota, we have Jim Gutzman.
Yay!
And from his automobile, we have a noted musician, former lead player with Sawyer Brown. Bobby Randall will be on the show.
Yeah.
So let's get it started right away by saying hello to our good friend up in Prior Lake, Minnesota, where they just got another 17 inches of snow up there. Here he is from his home studio, which is also his decompression chamber. Jim Gutzman, ladies and gentlemen. Our sound applause meter.
Bruce and Sharon, very impressed with the new intro to the show.
Oh,
you must have got my $5 contribution.
Yeah, we did.
You used all of it. I'll tell you, that's pretty fancy.
Yeah, it is pretty fancy.
We
Sharon,
love it. We love it out here.
Sharon worked her butt off to really to grab those little things, and it's nice to see President Trump. Even though he doesn't wear a mask very often, it's nice to see him flossing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And dancing.
And
dancing to see Joe pumping that iron. That's inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you can.
Yeah, you're putting the good stuff on. You're not tearing people down. You're building people up, Bruce and Sharon, and I compliment you for it.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Everybody should get COVID and come out of it like he does. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not everybody should get it, but if they do.
Right.
Yeah, that might be much, but just coming out of it's the important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially at our advanced age, you know.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people are taking a lot more medication. I'm frankly using a lot more bleach.
Really?
I bleached my teeth.
She did.
So that's
very nice.
I'm working towards staying healthy.
You see that a lot with people in show business. The bleaching of teeth, the tightening of skin.
Mm-hmm.
People will pull back. Like I'm thinking about doing a little of this.
Well, yeah.
How's that look?
I like that.
I'm doing this, and then I might even get a facelift.
Yeah. But that makes.
Well, I'm thinking about maybe taking some off my eyes and putting it just behind my ears. And I think that's going to help people when I'm driving. I'm going to be able to see better.
Elfin.
Well, you gotta have a handle on it, brother.
Yeah.
You still go out there unprepared. Guten Tag, that is German, by the way. Well put.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Tusen Tag is
1,000 thanks.
1,000 thanks in Norwegian. So
or up your left side.
What have you and Patty been up to?
Well, Bruce, I'm glad you asked because, quite frankly, got a little tense up here in Minnesota. We've had a lot of the things with Floyd that originated right here. And some of the policemen were, going to be indicted or charged or whatever. And some things were not going possibly as the public would like. And so our governor actually brought out some National Guard to make sure we didn't have any problems. And, I'm just going to tell you two like it happened. Patty and I were out driving around and I saw this little neighborhood thing. They had some balloons in the yard. And I thought they were having a little party. And we drove by, I rolled down the window, and I thought I heard them shout, "It's a girl! It's a girl!"
Oh,
so I
like
gave him a
gender reveal party.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I gave him a thumbs up, and as I'm driving away, Patty said, "Close the fool you window." They said, "Thin the herd. Thin the herd. They're pointing at you."
Close the
Yeah.
fool,
So,
you window.
so we packed right on. I pushed the pedal right down on that van, and we were out of there. Tell you that. And I beat the horn, and I hollered, "Medical emergency."
Thin the herd.
I beeped the horn.
We got straight onto the freeway, and we got some gas and had a bite to eat. And,
They're trying to get rid of these old people.
Oh man.
well, this is what I've been afraid of. They're figuring this out, that the people between 20 and 55 have a much higher rate of being able to get through this without any kind of problems or even death. So now they're going to blame the old people. If they shut us in again, they're going to point fingers at us, and they're going to start coming for us, maybe. Now, what Patty and I have done, we've joined these senior SEALs here in Prior Lake. And I told you about that before.
Is that like Easter?
Senior SEALs. Like Easter SEALs, right? Well, this is a group of people that's just getting together to take care of one another and help anybody they have to.
Okay.
And we will.
I like the Navy SEAL.
You know what? It is that kind of an organization, so to speak. There is some, hierarchy, and you do have to do certain regiments. Example, we just got back from basic training.
Where was that at?
And well, that was at Mankato. There's about, let's see, how many do we, in the 5-county area, there's 5 of us. And they put us on a bus, 4 guys and a gal, and between 65 and 80, and they put us down to the camp down there in Mankato. Well, I'll tell you, right away we got in there. They shuffled us off to our barracks. They said 5 o'clock muster. Well, we were up at 5 o'clock out in the yard ready to go. They shout your name, shout your birth date, and then you go have something to eat and take some medication, and you lay down for a couple hours. And you get ready for noon, because high noon's when it happens, kids.
Ah.
That's when that siren goes off. You're out there. I'm not kidding. You are out there. And the way it starts, sergeant comes up and he hollers a couple of words I can't repeat on this show, and you start to run in place. Well, it's kind of a walk in place. It's a walk in place for about 15 seconds. Then you drop down and you army crawl for about 3 feet. And I tell you what, you're starting to feel the burn right about then. You get up, you walk in place for another 7 seconds, and my God, you're staring right at the tire.
The tire.
tire?
Oh yeah, one of those great big truck tires that you have to push, and then you get like a sledgehammer and you hit that and get all of your angst out.
Flip it over.
Yeah, and you flip it over. Yeah.
Well, this is a 1962 Volkswagen tire. So
Okay.
not that big a deal, maybe. We just kind of walked around it. Nobody wants to get hurt, Bruce.
Okay.
Okay, it was caution.
It was caution. You got to be cautious. But, for us, it's a tire, and we still felt it was definitely something that was a challenge.
Yeah.
And once you get done with that, you run in place for another 15 seconds. Now, you're running in place. This isn't walking. We started walking, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get down and you crawl another army crawl for 3 feet. Well, one of the women wasn't able to get up. The only one we had there, bless her heart, Betty. And the drill sergeant was just a great guy. He ran over there right away, put his hand on her back, leaned down by her ear and shouted, "You want to die on your belly? You want to die? You want to die on your belly? Well, you get up, old woman." Well, I knew right then. I said, ho, we are not fooling around here. A couple of guys took a nitrate, tucked it under their tongue, and kept going. Well, then we army crawled for another 3 feet, ran in place for another 15 seconds, and now we're looking dead nuts on straight towards the wall.
The wall. Oh my gosh, one of those huge walls that you have to kind of rappel over and climb up the rope. And, some people just can't even do it. It's so strenuous.
Well, not quite as strenuous as that. This was 4 steps that you go up and then down. You negotiate 4 steps going up, and then you walk down. And one guy did trip up and he got a little bruised, but we picked him up. And then you army crawl again for another 3 feet. And I tell you what, it is straight through the sprinklers.
Was Mitch McConnell with you?
He made it last week, but I don't think he was going to be coming back anymore.
Oh, because that's where you got all the
what-
bruises. Okay, got it.
Okay. And,
Yeah.
and you said the sprinkler. You go through the sprinkler?
Yes.
So you
Yes, you run through the spaces.
you get hosed down at the end in case you got mud or something on you.
No, these things that are 180 degrees, Bruce. These things are the force of a water cannon. They blow your butt up about 4 feet in the air, knock the wind out of you, and you're done with your basics for the day. They dry us off. They put us back in the bus and ship us home. Pardon?
Then you army crawl all the way home.
Oh no, we couldn't do that, Sharon. We got put in the bus and driven home.
Oh, good.
And we were given aspirin and other sedatives. And it seems like everybody's going to be okay. And we didn't have anybody that doesn't want to stay on the team.
Really?
That's the kind of people we are up here. Yep.
That is one heck of a geriatric boot camp right there.
You are tough.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this day and age, the seniors have got to take care of themselves. If you're looking for somebody to come save you, it may not happen. So, we've worked together with these people. We know how to communicate. We're bouncing off of satellites, night and day. We're getting information on the grid all the time. We call it grid information.
Have you been watching
what?
Have you been watching any of the shows on? I forget which network it is. There's shows about a gal that's a doctor and she pops pimples.
Ooh.
Oh, Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the name.
Now, how about My Feet Are Killing Me? How about that one?
My Feet Are Killing Me. That's another show.
Yes.
Ooh, there's some ugly feet on that. Ooh, the agony of it. Yeah.
Well, and I heard one. I've got the breath of a dead bear, and I'm thinking, who's going to watch that?
I missed that one entirely.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought this up, Bruce, because I wanted to talk to you guys about this. I got an idea. I've had some of those investment ideas, and sure, not everyone's been the best, but nobody's gotten hurt. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm thinking, how about a show and you call it Stool Seekers? And a couple of people go out and they rummage through people's stool and they find out if they've got any dietary inconsistencies that need to be changed, or perhaps any disease, or if they have a lost relative, they can trace it through the DNA.
Well, there's a show you can't shake a stick at.
No, I'll tell you, you won't touch that with your stick. Darn right.
Stool seekers, they rummage through people's stools. Where are they rummaging?
Well, people will bring that to the show. Oh yeah, we'll have them bring their stool on the show.
They're bringing their
Oh yeah, and then we'll go through it right with them right there, so they can see it. None of this pimple popper and this other, My Feet Are Killing Me. They all send things out. You don't know if it's the truth. We do it. We analyze it right in front of them and in front of their parents if they're there.
Are masks required for that? For the analyzation process?
Yes, in the beginning. Near the end, it does make a difference. So we just take them off.
By then, you can't smell anything.
By then, you smell like stool.
Yeah,
and,
stool.
I'm not proud of it. We're doing something, but I think this may be the next way to go, because a lot of people look at all these advertisements you have for problems, in that tract. People that aren't regular are looking for help, and people that itch are looking for help, and people that are too big. If your butt's too big, you're looking for help. It's too small, you want to get a bigger butt, you're looking for help. Well, now you can check your stool.
Well, yeah, because a lot of times that is the harbinger of things to come.
Well, and here's the thing: I got a logo. I got a little tag on. Yeah. Don't be a fool. Check your stool.
That's beautiful.
I like it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking just a hand with a finger touching a little brown one on your shirt. A white hand touching a little brown herd.
Help me, doctor. Emoji can be the little
the
guy.
little poop emoji thing. Yeah.
Exactly, like Kill Bill. No, don't touch me there.
Mr. Hanky.
Mr. Oh no, it's Mr. Flush. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh.
oh,
So
always good to have
that's-
you on the show, Jim. You bring lightness and color to to an otherwise
Continuity.
namby-pamby production. You know.
Feel like a spicy bratwurst and a cup of oatmeal.
I'm sure you feel better too, getting this off your chest.
Well, yeah, Bruce and I want to thank both of you for that. We've been friends for a long time, but this kind of stuff builds up in a man, and you don't know what's going to happen. So you guys are doing, I think, a community service and a service to a friend of yours by just take care of people. And what you're doing for the world with this show is unbelievable. I've seen changes in Zimbabwe because of your show.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I had no idea. If there's even one person in Africa watching, God bless you and
Right.
thank you.
Yes, exactly. And I saw some of the people, that's, were writing in or cheering in, and some of those things that seem to be from outside the country. So I think you've got an international audience. Am I correct?
Canada, if you count Canada.
Yes, I know you've got Canadians. Well, don't be afraid of the rest of the world. Let them in on this, Bruce. Sharon, you've got something to offer here.
Everybody could get their stools checked.
Yes. And that's kind of what dogs do. I mean,
that's true.
That's it.
That's true.
Bruce.
Yeah.
This is when it's going to come to you. We stop shaking hands, right?
Yep.
Pretty soon we can't go up and peck on the cheek. We're going to have to go by people's behinds. And how you doing, Billy? Horrible.
Yeah.
I think that, well,
where you been?
Next thing I'm going to look at is a little, maybe some kind of a little cloth that will continue to keep you fresh and moist all day long.
I see you've been to Hardee's.
Wow, was that ranch dressing? Holy.
That woke the dog up.
Here's our mascot for that show. Yeah.
He's like, what? Are you talking about Snippy?
Arby's.
You're...
All right, well, guys, I want to thank you for having me here today, and it's always a pleasure to see you guys are looking great together, and you're working great together. And tell you, the show is starting to take off here, and I think you're going to the moon with this thing.
And we're looking forward to your new album, which covers your musical that you've been writing.
That's coming. Thank you. I'm going to give a little plug for that coming up shortly here, hopefully done by Christmas. We'll have Stepping Into the Street, the soundtrack done. The musical is called Stepping Into the Street. Okay. And melodybay.pro, melodybaypro.com, melodybaypro.com. You can see two of the videos that are done now on this. There'll be a total of 3 or 4. There's one being worked on now. One more will be shot, and there'll be 10 songs on the CD, and those will be on iTunes and all of the places you want to look. YouTube, you can look this stuff up. So I'll keep you posted. But there's, we're going to be, breaking into some of the presidential messages with advertisements.
Awesome.
That's a welcome break. I'll tell you what.
Yep. We got a marketing budget. We're going to cut right into the election. Now we're from Prior Lake.
You're going to have your own armed dancers at the polls.
Just stay 150 feet away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, all right.
We love you, Jimmy.
Love you too, and take good care. Have a great show, and we will see you in the future. Signing off, over and out.
All right. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Jim Gutzman, always a favorite here on the show. Yay! And next we have, before we introduce Bobby Randall, would like to also mention, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Jerry Jeff Walker. Jeff Walker, legendary influencer in country music, in all music, passed away at age 78 and lost a giant right there. Yeah. It's just we're getting to be that age, I guess,
Yeah,
where it's happening
more and
almost
more.
daily, you know. But that was a huge loss,
But thank God we had him.
and a special shout out to Chris Gage, who was his lead guitar player and pal and band member and fellow South Dakotan. Uh, uh, we'd also like to send our condolences to Chris because that's a huge loss for him and the nation. So, and then moving along, as if things weren't sad enough, we have coming up. Bobby Randall is going to tell us his personal journey with COVID-19. Now he's a dear friend of ours, and we learned a while back that he contracted the virus, and we wanted to know the full story. So we caught up with him in his car, I believe, driving from Louisville, Kentucky, on his way to Florida. And this is a rather lengthy interview, but it is chock full of information that you and yours may need to learn about this dreaded disease.
It was interesting to us. So.
Yeah. So here he is, Bobby Randall. How was your gig in Florida over the weekend?
It was okay, you know. Business a little slow. Folks are still a bit apprehensive about coming out. It's coming around, but slow, you know, just slow.
Yeah. And what do you have, like half a house or what?
Yeah, we're only opening to 50%.
Okay.
So that's about 300 people, and you know, we just got a lot of people. You know, they don't know we're open yet, for one, and you know, you're in the biz. The COVID is the dreaded COVID.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that probably no matter what happens, they won't come out. If we had Elvis himself, they probably wouldn't come out.
Yeah.
That's up to them. You know, it's good.
Yeah. That's kind of why we wanted to talk to you, because you yourself know some truth about the ordeal of COVID, and I wanted to sort of go back through your journey with contracting the disease and how you fought it and what you think now.
Well, I wish I could tell you, you know, exactly where I caught it, because, you know, I went on a motorcycle trip. We left Nashville. We went to Michigan. Went to Mackinac Island. There's a cool little boat that goes across Lake Michigan called the Badger. Starts in Ludington and goes across to Wisconsin. We did that. Went to Deadwood, South Dakota, your neighborhood, and got snowed in. So we spent a few days there. Now, I was around a few people, but not a lot. And I'm a guy that always wears a mask, so I was pretty good with the mask. And a motorcycle's only got a 6-gallon tank, so I also was pretty careful when I gassed up. I had these little wraps, these little wipes, and hand sanitizer on my motorcycle.
Wow.
So that's a few days out, and then from there we went to Cody, Wyoming, up around through Yellowstone, down through Yellowstone, spent 4 days in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Left there, went to Ogden, Utah, left there, and Moab, Utah is where I started not feeling so good.
Oh, so when you left Deadwood, you were feeling fine.
Yep. I had nothing, and then I went from Deadwood to Cody. We stayed at the Irma out there, and then went to a friend of mine's house, and there were 4 of us riding at this time. A buddy of mine from Nashville, and then a buddy and his wife from Michigan. So there's 4 of us riding on 3 motorcycles. And we all stayed at the same house in Jackson Hole. We spent 4 nights and 5 days there. And then we went to Ogden, Utah the next day, and Steve and his wife had to go back to Michigan, so they left. And Jimmy and I went down to Moab, Utah. And the first thing now that I remember, which I didn't pay much attention to then, but we went out to a Mexican restaurant. And it was on Thursday night. And I remember eating the food, and it didn't taste like anything. I was eating like a chicken. Kind of had that pulled chicken in there, whatever it is, in the burrito. And I was chewing it. I said something to Jimmy when we left. I said, well, that food didn't taste like anything. But I didn't think about anything. So we got on our bikes. We rode around a little bit in the Arches National Park till it almost got dark. And I started to feel a little bit weird there. When I woke up the next morning, that would be September 15th. I knew I was pretty sick because I had a fever, and I just didn't feel real good anywhere. So I went to the emergency room in Moab, Utah, and they do a 15-minute test, and came back and said that I was positive for COVID, and they wanted me to leave the hospital right away. So
really,
no staying there. Out. And I even said, well, I can't remember that drug, but Bruce can, because you guys are a lot smarter than I am. But I even said, what about this or that, or even a steroid pack or a steroid shot or something? No, you just need to leave the hospital, and if you get any sicker, come back, but go home and stay in your house for 14 days. Well, the trouble with that was I was in Moab, Utah.
Yeah.
So the funny thing was, I went home and told Jimmy I had COVID. We woke up the next morning, and I felt real good. And when you get COVID, when you get diagnosed with that, they turn you into the CDC and the local health department. So Moab, Utah, those guys were blowing my phone up.
wow.
So I woke up the next morning, and I felt good, and I said, Jimmy, let's get out of here. I thought we could get down to Albuquerque. I could get on 40, and we could just haul. We're both on motorcycles. So we took off, and I got about, I don't know, maybe 100 miles or something into New Mexico. I had weird stuff happen to me. I kind of hallucinated a little bit, and when you all go to sleep at night, sometimes you have this feeling that you're falling, or you tripped over something.
Yeah.
I was having that on my motorcycle. Just like I was, but right in the day I wasn't sleeping, and then it just got where I couldn't ride anymore. I couldn't, so we wheeled into some hotel. I couldn't even tell you the name of it, and I just kind of rolled off my bike almost on the ground and just sat there. Jimmy checked us in, and of course that would be now 15, 16. That would be 16th of September. I sat there. My birthday's on the 21st of September. We left there on the 23rd, I think. And I had some pretty bad days in that hotel room.
Wow.
So you just wrote it out in a motel room, and you had no medication other than over-the-counter drugs.
Yeah. I probably ate a bottle of Tylenol because I had a fever. I could see that I'd take that the Tylenol, to bring my fever down, and then I could tell when it'd go back up.
Mm-hmm.
But Jimmy said I spent 3 days, and he said, I don't think you said a word. He'd wake me up, and I drank a lot of water, pounded water, and maybe I'd eat a pear. Not to be funny about it, because there's nothing funny about it, but it's a great diet system, because I lost about 12 pounds or something in that week. I mean, I didn't eat anything. I couldn't.
Did Jimmy get it too?
Yeah, he did, but not as bad as I did. He had his taste got a little bit weak. My taste buds were nothing. I could have eaten anything, and you could have told me it was anything. I didn't. But his taste buds were a little funny. He said his chest was tight, and he had a cough. My shortness of breath wasn't the real shortness of breath. Mine was if I tried to breathe in too far deep into my lungs, it would, chuck me up and I'd cough. So I had to take kind of slow breaths and not try to breathe too far into my lungs. And of course, that makes you want to panic because you can't breathe. That's not good. But so yeah, it was not pleasant. It just wasn't pleasant. And part of this stuff is, I'm a media guy. I listen to the news a lot. I thought I might be dying out here in this desert, in New Mexico, because I was pretty sick. And you can't call anybody. Nobody's going to come and get you, right?
Right.
So I just wrote it out, and then at the end about the 25th or 6th, I started feeling a little better. And we took my motorcycle to Four Corners Harley Davidson. I did. Jimmy did. Sent it home, and we rented a car, and Jimmy drove all the way home because I didn't start feeling better till, I don't know, about 28, 29, somewhere there, maybe the 30th before I started feeling good. I was sick for 10 days, I would say, or maybe 12 days sick, but 5 days dog sick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when we're not on this, when we get off of this, but you and I just found out today have a mutual friend that they just took to the hospital, and I'll tell you about that. Not on the podcast because he probably doesn't want his name mentioned, but
Okay.
mutual friend of ours.
Okay.
So,
Is that COVID related?
no, he's got COVID,
Yeah.
He and his wife both have it. And I've been talking to him because she said, well, he's been sick for 3 days. And I said, well, I was right in the bed for 3 days, never got up hard to go to the bathroom or something. I mean, I didn't shower for 5 days. I couldn't even think about taking a shower. I couldn't think about eating anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she said. She said, well, he's been sick for 4 days. And I said, well, you should start feeling better about day 5, 6. I just talked to her. They live in Nashville. And they just took him to the hospital. So
Well,
I guess it affects different people differently, I suppose, right?
Yeah, and that's what we're finding out. I have a theory, and it's only a theory, that you got it in Deadwood because you had a gig. You and Jimmy had a gig playing at a motel lounge.
Yep. Where we go back to. Yep, we did.
Two-night gig there, and my theory is that microphones are the super spreaders of the entertainment world, especially someone else's microphone. If you can control your microphone and not breathe all of the germs and stuff that countless other entertainers have dropped into that microphone, you're okay. But when you're at the mercy of the equipment that is there and stuff, I don't know how many times I've gotten sick over the years from, because I do all kinds of things with the microphone, and I'm breathing into it, and you have to get close to it for certain effects, and it's just a harbinger of things to come.
In Confederate Railroad, the whole time I was in Confederate Railroad, I had my own microphone, and I would use my own mic.
Yeah.
That's a very good possibility. Now, down at the Opry, we have those wipes, and anytime anybody sings, they wipe that thing all off. Anytime anybody else uses the same microphone.
Yeah.
So they do that, and I did not do that. Now, I did have a couple people bring me some drinks. I can tell you that they sent up 4 shots. I drank 2 of the shots. I don't know how much of a drinker. I poured 2 of them on the floor when they weren't looking. Dumped them on the floor because I don't really drink, and I think I drank 1 beer, which is a lot. You guys know that I don't drink. So, I thought about that. There was an old high school buddy I hadn't seen who showed up, and I kind of talked to him. I don't remember him having a mask on. But now, again, you can help me with the math. So I was in Deadwood for 3 days, and then I went to Cody, Wyoming, and I stayed there at the Irma for a night, and then I went to Jackson Hole for 4 nights, and then I went to Ogden, which is one night, and the next night I got sick. So that's quite a few days from the time I'd be exposed to the time that I got sick.
But it takes a while to incubate.
Yeah, it takes a while to incubate, and they're saying, can be 7 to 10 days.
Right. So because I traced it back, and that's where I feel I got it. Now, my friend Jimmy, who's not married either, and 4 years older than me, we went over to this friend's of mine's house in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and it was about the second night we were there. Went to get something to eat. We left, and there was a girl there, so he kissed this girl a couple times, and I said, well, maybe it wasn't me that got the COVID.
That could be.
Because right away they want to point the finger at me because I said I wasn't kissing on anybody. I was doing SWAT. So, maybe that was.
Yeah.
But you beat yourself up though, because I really wish I know. Now here's another thing. I called all those people in Jackson, all my friends in Jackson, my uncle in Utah, and my cousin. My cousin rode around with me one day on a motorcycle. None of them got sick.
Oh.
Good.
The other people that were with us, the guy and a girl from Michigan, they were there the whole time. They didn't get sick. Just Jimmy and I got the COVID. I got the pretty tough end of it.
Did they all go get tested?
Again, that's another thing they should, but they didn't. He said, I don't have any symptoms. I'm not sick.
Okay.
The other two people from Michigan, but Jimmy's sick.
Well, that's still darn good contact tracing on your part to call them and notify them, So.
I also, in the car, when we left the hotel, remember I was in that hotel room. I never came out of the hotel room for 5 days. I never came out. I didn't get out of bed for 3 days. We told the people not why we were there, because I was afraid they'd throw me out. When we left, I said, you need to tell those people that I've been diagnosed with COVID and that I was pretty sick. Because I didn't want some person going in that hotel room to clean it.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing when we returned the car. I went in there and said, by then I was feeling a lot better. And I told them, you need to, that I got COVID. Now here's another thing. So I'm feeling good. And the Orange Blossom Opry is going to open back up. So my boss says, well, you need to go get another COVID test. I said, okay. So when I was in Nashville, last week or the week before, I went for a COVID test, and it tested positive again.
Oh.
And that kicked back into the CDC and all that stuff. And they called me and told me, do not get another COVID test if you've already tested positive, because you can test positive with COVID for all the way up to 3 months. I don't know if y'all heard that.
Oh, didn't know that. See, these are facts that we need to know, coming straight from the horse's mouth, right there.
Yeah, or the horse's other end's mouth. No, but they told me not to get another test because is antibodies the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Hang around in there that will test you, that you will test positive for possibly up to 3 months. They also said, some people, they all freak out about that stick up your nose. It's not a big deal.
No.
Well, they said that the blood test, when people just go get the blood test, that's up to 50% inaccurate. Will show
Really?
not good, not the blood test. You really need to stick with the nasal swabs, and that's about 99% sure, not the blood test.
Yeah, we've both had that a few times.
Yeah, we've had the nasal swab a few times and stuff, and they actually found an old 8-ball that I did back in '88. Yeah.
There's a joke. Don't tell what they find up that nose of yours. I'll let that go.
So now that you're on the backside of COVID, and we hope that it doesn't come back in any shape or form, no matter how many times you test positive. Now that you're on the backside, what is your assessment of the way the media treats this disease?
Well, here's, as both of you know, I don't have kids. Thank God for that. And you all have. And the only thing that I think, I got a couple of things, so I'll get through both of them. One, just driving a car can be scary. And you can die in a car crash. And you can get killed because there's drunk drivers and there's people doing crazy things. But you let your children know of the danger, but you don't panic your children to death to the point where they're afraid to get in the car. I think that both sides, left and right, should have, not that they could agree on the hardening of Jello, but I think that they should try to be factual, tell the facts, but they could comfort the country more than they are. I think that politically, they're both trying to panic everybody. And listen, there's 200 and some odd thousand people that died from it. It's a serious thing. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But I think they should have gone at it as we got this. We're working on this as hard as we can. People don't go crazy. Don't panic. Yeah, it's a deadly virus, but instead of panicking the country, because I thought I might die. It was on my damn birthday as well, and I remember thinking I may die out here. But there is a huge recovery rate. 99% of the people that get it live, and they never talk about that. So I'll be glad when the election's over. I don't even really care who wins. I'm just tired of all of that. So you got to take care of yourself. You got to wear a mask. You got to wash your hands. You got to try to stay away from people. I thought I did. I thought I was doing a good job. Even I'm 68 years old, and I thought I was probably overly cautious. I washed my hands. I wore a mask. I did all kinds of stuff. And you're probably right, Bruce. In that bar, and possibly that microphone. I never gave that microphone that much thought because I went there and the guy had set it all up. And although I stayed away from people, I never once did that a thought. You may be right spot on with that thing. It sure makes a lot of sense.
It's just a theory, and there's plenty of conspiracy theories out there to offset that one.
Well, I don't believe that it was, that I got it from Martians or anything, but it sure makes a lot of sense because
it does.
I didn't get that close to a lot of people because I thought I was being pretty careful. I never once thought about the microphone. I'm going to say that to Jimmy. I'm going to call him and tell him that y'all brought that up because it's a very strong possibility that's what happened. And we at the Orange Blossom Opry are very cautious of that. If you watch us on Facebook, they wipe that down with those wipes, alcohol wipes between every singer. And I never did that. I should have, I guess.
Yeah. Oh well, it's good to know that you're through with your infection and that you're back to nearly 100%. It sure is. It sure would be a terrible loss to the music and the entertainment world if anything were to happen to you. And even though you're 68 years old, you're still you're still an influencer in this business.
You're the youngest 68-year-old we know.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of that. My message to the people is, don't. Nobody likes to live scared. Nobody likes to live under the, oh my God, we're all going to die. But you need to know that virus is a serious virus, and it can kill you, and you need to protect yourself. And I think you don't let somebody talk you into anything you don't want to do. If you want to sit in your house, sit in your house. I was on a motorcycle trip, and I was away from everybody except for a few nights. Boom. So,
One of the most striking things about your journey is that you were actually turned away at that hospital in Moab.
Yeah.
And how many times has this happened to people throughout the country where they've gone in, they say, I've got COVID, I want to get some medication, I want to receive some care, and how many people have been turned away for just those silly reasons, you know?
Yeah, and I wasn't necessarily paraphrasing, if you will. They basically, the guy came back in there with the spacesuit on, you know, and the hose in the back, and he said, "Yeah, you got COVID. You tested positive for COVID." And he said, "We're going to get some things to get you out of here." And I said, "What?" "Yeah, we'll get your things and some papers to sign, and you're out of here." And I asked him, I said, "Well, wait a second. What about the medicine that I hear? You know, this is before Trump,
Right.
and stuff. So what about that medicine? What about this and that?" "No, we're not going to give you anything." I asked about a steroid pack or a steroid shot or something, you know, that prednisone 6-5-4-3 that we all take. Nope, they gave me nothing, and basically didn't even. It's funny, the room that I was in, which unbeknownst to me, there was a door on the side that went right out of the building. So I opened that door and it was like, I was in the parking lot.
Oh my God.
So, you know, so they want. I don't know if it was because, you know, Moab's kind of a tourist town, and you know, they're struggling like everybody else. So maybe they just didn't want, you know, some 68-year-old guy reporting another case, but they did report it because I got called by the Utah health department there in Moab and a bunch of stuff. And they turned me into. I got a different driver's license, so they turned me into. There, Nashville called me. But I did get a release from the CDC in Nashville that they called up and said that you're free to go back and do what you want, you know, anything wide open about.
Well, thanks.
Got a couple weeks ago or something.
Whew.
But don't mess with that stuff because I'm lucky. I realize that I'm lucky because, you know, I don't know why I don't smoke. I'm a pretty healthy guy for my age, so some people may not be as fortunate.
Right.
Yeah, we're very careful. We only tongue each other through VizQueen, so.
Right. Well, that's what I was doing. That's what I'm going to do. Make my whole body like a body condom. I guess what they told me now, not that I'm out there trying to see if they know what they're talking about, but they did say that for 3 months, I'm definitely non-contagious and cannot get the virus. But after 3 months, they said there's a possibility I can get the virus again.
They don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know that to be factual. I just know that that's what the guy that I talked to, and I talked to a girl too, said. After 3 months, you know. I said, well, I still wear a mask. So
Yeah.
Go in there, just to show you, it's right there. See, there's my little mask.
Yay.
Ah,
I bet it's green.
it's green.
Pretty green, yeah, it is. I don't even know. It's a real good one, whatever that is.
It shows up as a tree on our end.
Because we have a green
You know,
screen behind us.
I had a real good mask. I had a cloth mask that went up over my nose and somebody made with a bunch of music notes on it and stuff.
Yeah?
And so, I don't know. I don't know. I'd say that, because I'm going to call Jimmy and tell him what I think I know. Although I'd rather blame it on him.
Yeah.
You know, kissing a chick and Jackson Hole would be a lot easier than me being a dumb shit not having
Yes.
a microphone when I should have not done that.
Blame it on the girl.
Godspeed and be well, and thanks for participating. We've not only entertained our subjects, we have educated them. Yes.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby. Look forward to seeing you soon in person.
Yep.
Okay.
Love you both.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite lengthy, but so informative and so,
It's very interesting.
yeah, so shocking about that being turned away from that hospital. I just can't get over that, you know. So our advice is don't get COVID. Don't
There
get
you
it.
go.
Don't get it. And use precautions. Wear masks. Wash your hands. and stay out of trouble,
Yeah.
Otherwise, in complete, you go ahead and have fun, have some fun and just stay away from.
We don't know anything.
No, we don't.
We
know
know
anything.
nothing.
We're not doctors. We're not.
We know nothing.
We're not Dr.
Don't
Fauci.
listen to us, but listen to Bobby because he's been through it.
Yeah.
So.
And so that's pretty much our show, and we thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next week when our guest will be who knows.
Oh,
We have
be a
no
surprise
idea.
to us.
We don't plan stuff ahead of time, so. And we love you too, and we want
Love
you to be
you.
well and be good to each other and all that stuff. Okay, bye.
Bye.
And the White Guy Show. I'm telling you, if white guys could get paid every time that they are on social media, this guy would get $12 a month for life.